Hi there, Janet Fritz here for Galaxy Girl Creations. Welcome to my channel. Welcome to another day of May I Scraplift You. Today I am scraplifting the talented Erin Jacobson from Crafty Concepts with Erin. So I really liked this layout because I like the mixed media on the right hand side, and then it's got some simplistic layering, which makes it really versatile for a lot of different layouts. And I thought I would use some photos of my husband and I, well, it's actually me, and then the food that we were eating at a local Korean barbecue place. And so I thought I would go ahead and document that. I pulled out some mixed media stamps from Stampin' Up. These are from the gorgeous Grunge collection, which is retired and difficult to find, so my apologies for that, but it's one of my favorite stamp sets. I actually bought it used because I liked it so much, and I'm stamping with some apricot colored Catherine Pooler ink, and then I am using another stamp from the same set, and I believe I'm stamping in Gathered Twig, which is just like a brownish color. And that one's got like this diagonal stripe, which I think looks really cool over top of the mixed media splatter look. And so I'm using a bunch of warm colors today, so I'm staying within that color range with regard to the inks that I'm choosing. And I'm just layering them up, and I'm going to go ahead and stamp a little bit more using some ground espresso ink. And I am using Distress Oxides for this stamping, with the exception, of course, to that apricot ink from Catherine Pooler. These stamps are all from the same set, so if you are interested in them, you can just go online and search on Stampin' Up! Gorgeous Grunge. You might be able to find it on eBay or in a group for maybe retired Stampin' Up! Stamps if you do an in search of. So I don't really know off the top of my head if there's any available, but you can always give it a try. So I decided, since this is a foodie type of layout, that I'm going to go ahead and use a doily. I don't use doilies super often, but I thought I'd use it today just because of the fact that there's food involved, and I feel like it looks like a placemat. So I do tend to use doilies for that kind of a purpose, and sometimes on my really feminine layouts, but not really frequently. So so here's the food, and we are having galbi, which is like a Korean barbecue, like ribs, and then dalsat bibimbap, if you know what that is. It's like a stone pot, and everything comes cooked in it, and the rice at the bottom gets kind of crispy, and then it's got an egg over top. So what we do is we order both, and then my husband and I share, and it just makes it nice because we get a little bit of everything. I am inking all of my edges up in, I think I'm using walnut stain. Yep, it's either walnut stain or black soot, you guys. I didn't even see myself open that. But I think it's walnut stain because I'm sticking with the browns, so that would make a lot of sense. Anyway, inking all these layers up, and I'm liking how it's looking. The two papers there at the bottom are really old papers from my mind's eye. And then the top paper, the little small piece is from a different collection. I don't even remember what collection. And I want to say the other two are from their Indie Chic collection. But those are also very old. So just stamping off the layout a little bit more with some more ink, just to give a little bit more added interest and bring in some of the mixed media to the bottom left-hand corner. Now her layout does not have mixed media on the left-hand side, but I really liked the way that it looked, so I went ahead and brought it across there, and I thought that just kind of finished it off nicely, even though I didn't bring in as much. I think it's just a nice little touch over there. Now this little piece that I'm adding, I kind of played around with it. Wasn't sure if I was going to add it vertically or horizontally. The left-hand side of hers has what looks like either a branding strip or something to that effect on the left-hand side. So I'm going to bring in this wood grain, and that is just an offcut from an old Simple Stories collection. And I like the way that that looks. It brings in more depth of the color and kind of finishes it off. Going to also bring in another little piece of that same wood grain to the upper right hand corner there, just to bring the color across and kind of complement the left hand side. Now it's not going to stay that small. I'm going to add a few more things in the upper right hand corner, and then I'm going to cut that little wood grain piece in half and then kind of stretch it. So I thought I would use all of these little pieces that I've pulled out here. Those are all old Prima tags and tickets or ledgers, but I don't end up using them. And I also don't end up using the wood veneer. I thought I was going to use the wood veneer, but I just didn't like the way that it looked with this particular layout. So I'm going to save it for a different layout. I did find some other stuff in my collection that I thought worked a little bit better. And in my collection, in my stash, it is quite a collection, you guys. That is not what I meant to say, but yeah, it is quite a collection. So I found some pieces that say, it's like a banner piece that says eat, and I'm going to use that instead. Now this little frame here, I don't even know where that is from. So, yeah, I've got nothing on that one, but it matches perfectly. So I thought I'll go ahead and use that because, you know, if it matches, you should do it. Go for it. I was going to use that little banner piece at the bottom that says happy on it. But like I said, I found the one that says eat, and I think that one works better. And at this point, I'm still just going along like I'm going to use these off-white pieces from Prima. And they would work. It's not an issue, but I don't end up using them because I end up kind of going in a different route. I end up going a little bit diagonal, well, not a little bit, but completely diagonal from the upper right to the bottom left with that doily. The other extra piece of the doily is going to go in that upper right hand corner. And so I don't do any embellishing at the top of the photos. I end up using that little space for my journaling, and I just handwrite my journaling and make some journaling strips and stick them up there. And you're going to see that coming up here in just a few moments. While I work on my embellishing, I just want to remind you that this is May I Scraplift You. We are doing this all month long, and hopefully I can play throughout the month, but you will find links to all of the videos that have been released so far in the playlist in my description box down below. So you can go and check that out. It'll just take you to the playlist and you can pick which ones you want to watch. This is a bunch of leftover odds and ends from a recipe or kitchen-y type of collection that was used for a mini book many years ago, and I just had it sitting in my stash, and so I decided to look inside there, and I found that fork and spoon and the letters EAT, and then the little piece that says let's eat. So those are what I'm going to use because I thought those are the perfect pieces to go on this layout. And I will save the wood veneer for another day of maybe when we're actually eating Chinese takeout, because there was a Chinese takeout box. I don't know, or something to that effect. But in this case, I just thought these pieces worked really well. So that is what I'm going to go ahead and go with. I do also like the depth of color that this Bon Appetit piece brings to the upper right, because it also plays well off of the fork and spoon pieces in the banner. Again, I'm inking everything up. I am also adding some foam beneath all of these little bunting pieces so that I can have a little bit of dimension. And I am going to add a piece of twine so that it looks like it is actually hanging, even though a lot of the twine is going to be tucked under the letters. The end pieces still stick out so that you can see them. I am using liquid glue from Nuvo Deluxe Adhesive, or from Nuvo. It is their deluxe adhesive, and I'm using that to stick everything down. It is my glue of choice. It works very well and comes out really fine, and I really like that. I recently found that they make a fine line or a fine tipped applicator. It's not the brand Fine Line, but it's a fine tipped applicator for this bottle. But I can't even see a need for it, you guys. It already comes out really thin, so I'm not sure why you would actually need the fine tipped applicator, but they do make one in case that's of interest to you. Okay, now that I've got my photos glued down, I am going to go ahead and just glue down the bunting pieces. And that little yellow piece right above it says oh my goodness, what does it say? It says something every moment, savoring every moment, or something to that effect. Anyway, that's getting popped up onto some foam as well. Oh, enjoying every moment, I think is what it says. But anyway, it's getting popped up onto some foam as well. And I think that works well also with that kind of mustardy background that I've got going on. And then I added an Admit One ticket up above the Bon Appetit piece because that also brings in that yellow up into that corner. And then I'm playing around with this twine because it's been rolled up. I'm just going to glue it behind each letter and let it sit for a moment so that it kind of stays. And then I glue the little edges or the pieces sticking out down to the layout, and I've put my tweezers on there to kind of hold it in place. Now I've written my journaling on a piece of white paper, and I'm just cutting it into journaling strips, and I'm going to play with where I put that on my layout as well. I thought about putting it down at the bottom, but it really is going to go up at the top because there's just not enough room down here. I've already got so much going on, and then I've got this bare space up above. I think that's the perfect place for it. That is the one nice thing about doing that kind of a journaling, is that you can move it around wherever you want and make it fit for your purpose. I did find some photo corners in this Heidi Swap sticker book from Sun Chaser? I think that's what it's called. Anyway, I'm going to use those around the outside of my photos. Inking up my journaling strips and going to glue those down, and that is pretty much going to do it, you guys. So while I finish that up, don't forget to check out all the links, or check out the playlist down below. I will also put links to things that that are currently available, so that you can find those if you are interested in that. And that is all. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you have questions or comments, you can always leave those down below, and I'm happy to get back to you. And it might take me a little bit of time, but I do respond to all of my messages. And hit that thumbs up if you enjoyed this video, and hit the bell if you want to get notifications each time I release a new video. Thanks for spending time with me today. I really do appreciate it. I know you got a lot of choices out there, and it just warms my heart that you chose to watch my video. Thanks so much. See you soon. Bye-bye.